bigger fish to fry. The 6-ton guppy in the room is to find my father's killer. Everywhere I go, I look, and everywhere I look, I see clues.
Son, it was you who killed me.
What kind of stupid name is Yoo-Hoo? Well, when I find that demon, I shall slay him to death. Death. Yoo-Hoo. Yoo-Hoo.
Us all! Destroy us all!
I'll take the chicken.
Destroy us all! 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 Destroy us all!
All right, that's it.
What is life? Now I'm sitting here in my bedroom the day before my 20th birthday. And for the last few weeks I've been asking myself the same question. I recorded this a few times, by the way. But I've constantly asked myself, what is life? The first recording I was like, oh, it's just survival of the fittest, you know, it's unfair advantages that other people get, that some have, some don't, most don't, normally, but, you know. But then I thought about it, I'm like, that seems very unfair to say it's survival of the fittest. In some cases, yes, especially when you're younger, because normally you're kind of pushed into a lot of predicaments where you can't really have a say in the matter. And that's normally with the fittest, which is the parents and stuff like that, but, you know. But then when you grow up, you kind of break out of those boxes, because I don't know what's happening over the last few years, but there's been like a weird resurgence in like old style of mannerisms, which is like, you know, old traditions. Mostly it seems kind of religious, but most of it's spiritual. But that's probably more on me because I've been like more in the mindset of like the Tao and everything. Like I've been meditating, doing the whole deal. So it might have just opened my horizons and just kind of made me think more critically about the human race overall. It made me more inclusive too, because I used to not know what like really any kind of. I didn't know that racism existed and stuff like that. But that's more on the internet's part than it is on my own part. Like the internet just kind of pushed me into a weird ass thing where it's just like, you know, you end up seeing a bunch of things that you didn't think you would see in your life, but well, you did. And now I can't get it out of my brain, so that's fun. But I think life is more like a 5-step solution. 3 if you want to simplify it, just pair a few things together. But it's like, it starts off with failure and loss. And like learning to cope with a lot of things. Like, not loss as in like deaths, but that's definitely a part of life. But death is a completely different video, that's later on. Same with religion. Religion can partner up with life, but it's mostly about the afterlife. So I'm not even going to talk about that really, because that's a completely different topic, really. But life is more on the loss of like friendships and like the loss of binds that kind of hold us together, you know? You gotta learn to lose yourself in yourself, if that makes sense. Basically, you gotta learn to lose certain people in your life, even if you don't really want to, especially when you're young. When you're young, friendships are gonna come and go like that, you know? They're gonna go away and snap with your finger. And then people in your life, which is like family and stuff like that, they're gonna snap away pretty quickly too. Well, not quickly, but over the course of years and years, you're gonna see a lot of death. And it's gonna humanize you. But if you're like a single child, I don't know. I have the mindset of a basically all male family, you know? Honestly, I'm probably the most feminine out of all of us, and I have a fully grown beard within 2 decades, you know? and I do all this shit that's more fucking masculine than it is feminine. So you know, you get a lot of point of views when you live in my kind of life. But you know, I also kind of sit, like, kind of chill out, step back. You know, I've looked at my family in a really weirdly critical way, where it's not really critical, but it's more like an eye for what patterns we follow. Like my brother, his life is much different than not mine is, even though we live within the same household. You know, we've lived in the same house for almost 20 years. Almost, because it's a day away, but we've lived in the same house together for so many years. And his life is completely different, because he's gone into football, and he went to college for a football scholarship and a university, and the whole deal, you know? And I went for, like, photography, radio, you know? I did this whole thing. Like, I was more on the side in school where I was just, like, you know, more of a victim than an actual, like, you know, in middle school. I'm not a victim, but I'm saying, like, if we're gonna play the game of, like, cat and mouse, I would be the mouse. A lot of other people would be cat. I was fucked around in middle school. People would just, you know. But that's for a different topic, and I don't like droning on and on about it, so we're just gonna stop there. And then my older brother, who's more of like I guess you could say a stoner, but he's not really, you know? I guess he's more of like an Irish hippie. He kind of like hikes and does a bunch of weird stuff. He doesn't really have a, you know, description to him. My older brother can have more of a description, because he's more of like a friendly giant with that can't read social cues. I don't know if that's a good topic, or if that's a good description of it, but like, those two kind of help me, like, you know, coast along in my own life, because I've seen them make more mistakes than I have. I mean, I've made a lot of mistakes, don't get me wrong. I'm definitely not a good person. I've fucked over a lot of people in my life, but, you know, that's part of it. It's unintentional most of the time. Sometimes it's intentional. Sometimes I just go out of my way to hurt people, but that's more people that deserve to be. But, you know, it's kind of like if you don't respect me, I won't respect you kind of thing, you know? If you meet somebody, okay, what you should do is give them the benefit of being a good person, alright? You go up, you shake their hand, you say, oh, nice shoes or whatever, like, you have a nice smile, that whole deal. If they say something fucked up, like they're saying, like, you're subhuman garbage or something like that, then they don't really deserve your respect at that point, and you should call them out on their bullshit. Be polite about it. Don't go out of your way to be a dick about it, but hey, I mean, it really depends on your perception of being a dick, but mine is more like, I like to, you know, approach it in a more, I'm gonna be slightly nice, more condescending if you disrespect me, but after like 3 strikes, then you're just getting to get the hammer, you know? You gotta get that clock down. I don't like to be confrontational, because every time I've been confrontational, I end up getting like either stabbed or something. I have a lot of stories. I do have a life and death story that I might talk about later on in the video, maybe like at the last minute. But again, back to what life is. Life is also happiness. You know, you need all the sadness in your life. You need all the loss and everything. So the happy parts, they're far and few between, because let's be honest, life is kind of a bitch most of the time. But you need those sad moments to help sweeten up those happy times. the far and few happy times, like the birth of your first child, or like getting a puppy. I don't know why I would compare those two together, but you know. Or like getting married to a significant other, or saying hello to your mom after 5 years or something. I don't know. It really depends on what makes you truly happy. How about getting like a 30 kill streak in Overwatch or something? I don't know. Something, anything that makes you happy. That's what life is, to an extent, you know? It's also like the subconscious happiness, like when you wake up you're feeling good, and you go through life, you go through the day, and you're just like feeling really good about yourself. And I honestly think what also makes life a little bit more of like a kind of like a struggle, but not really, is like that fucking moment that you can look into the mirror and be like, alright, I'm good with this, you know? Once you say, hey, this is a pretty good time, that's a good moment in life when you can look at yourself and just be like okay with yourself. You're not gonna get that right off the bat. You can't look at yourself when you're 18, 19, 20 years old, and you can't look at in the mirror and be like, I'm okay with this, because let's be honest, we got a lot of years to go, baby. Who am I saying? I could probably die tomorrow if I really, truth be told. Literally any minute, I kind of prepare myself to be gone. I might already have a will written, who knows? But with some people, they can be able to be the maker of their own end, so, you know. That was more of a middle school me kind of thing, though. Again, I have a lot of stories. But, back on topic, I really like to fuck myself over there, but life is like a weird collage of these kind of things, you know? You get the losses, you get the loss of yourself, the loss of your old self making you better, losing friends and trying to better yourself, but also, I don't truly know it either, you know? No one truly knows what life's meaning is. Because for all I know, survival of the fittest is truly what it is. I believe in what I believe. You don't have to believe in what I believe. You don't have to agree with anything I said, which is also a good point in life. We got options. We got many opinions on what could possibly be true. Religion may be true. The West Baptist Church, throughout all their fucked up ideals and all that, you know, they might be right. Who knows? I mean, I'm not gonna be okay if they're alright, but, you know. I'm still not agreeing with them. I'll be 100% honest. I'm never gonna agree with them. But they might be right. And that's a point in life. It's also acceptance of other people. That's a good point in life. You shouldn't accept every single person, let's be honest. You got a lot of people in this world, and you're definitely not gonna accept all of them, because it's more of a character base than it is actually anything else. At least that's what I do. I live by the quote of Martin Luther King, which is like, don't judge me based on my skin, but on the content of my character, that kind of deal. I might have fucked up that quote a little bit, but you know, that's kind of where I go. Plus, the failures in life, the many, many failures. I've failed so many times, I don't think it's even a countable number. Like, I've failed this channel, I've failed myself, I've failed my parents many times, you know? Hell, when I dropped out of college, that was one of the worst things I've ever done. You know? Not because it's me dropping out, but because I feel like I let my parents down, and that's what hurt me most. But for other people, that's not really gonna bother them that much, you know? And I think that's a thing too, you know? It's like the hurt from another person is what makes life a little bit weirder, I guess. Makes it kind of good, but kind of, it's mostly bad, but it's kind of good too, because disappointing somebody makes you want to be a better person. At least for an average person. I can't talk for everybody, but from what I've seen and from what I've read over the years, that's kind of true. When I disappoint, or when I do something off, and other people kind of call me out on it, it makes me need to be better.
Oh my god.
Am I gonna act on it immediately? Hell no. You know how often I haven't acted on anything? Very often. Hell, I procrastinated this till 8 in the afternoon. I've procrastinated so often, but that's more of like how I was raised kind of thing. Because I'm always like, oh, you got tomorrow, you got the next day, that kind of deal. But the next day never comes, really. And that's a part of me that I need to make better. Cut down on the meditation, cut down on playing games and watching Netflix and all that. And just focus in on the things that you need to be a part of, you know? Like making these videos. Or going out of your way to go hiking, clean up the house, that kind of deal. But, you know, you got the cheap days and stuff that you can always look forward to. I'm mostly talking about myself at this point, but, you know. Alright, I'm gonna end this off with the life and death story, since I've already gone past like the 15-minute mark. I might as well, you know. So, one day during college, I missed the bus many times because I was still screwed up about the bus schedule, because it was like I had to take like 2 different buses, and one dropped me off at the bus station, and I didn't know the numbers of the buses and all this stuff. Like one time it took me all the way to like fucking Allentown, and that was all the way in Bethlehem, which is just, it's like a 2-hour drive. So I took like a 2-hour or like an hour or 2-hour bus from Bethlehem to Allentown, and I had to go all the way back to go to my apartment at the time. But this day I missed the bus like 4 times, and it was like a really late class, so it was like 4 o'clock, and so I had to wait from 4 to 6 so that the bus could come, and the bus took forever to come, and then by the time it did, the bus station was basically closing, so I ended up having to call like either an Uber. I had 2 options. I can either call up an Uber or just wait for the bus. And I was like, you know, I'm just gonna wait for the bus. I'm just gonna wait for the last bus to call before the bus stops, and then that bus drops me off at a hospital that's like a few blocks away from the apartment. So I'm like, screw it, fuck it, why not do it? So I had to wait till like 7 o'clock, and then during that time that I was waiting, I just kind of wandered for a while to kill time. Instead of hanging out in some weird ass business place, I just hung out at the alleyway. And so I was like walking down the alleyway, and some like dude in a hoodie with his hood up, straggly beard, the whole deal, came up with a knife. It was just like, hey kid, give me your money. The whole deal. He's like, give me your money. And so I'm just like, I'm a student, I don't got money. Like, all I have is a debit card, and all it has is like 20 bucks. I get lean cuisines, man. I basically said that. Like, I mean, that's not verbatim. Most of it was just like, I'm a student. What do you expect me to have? And he's just like, give me your backpack, give me whatever, give me your shoes. And I'm like, these shoes cost like $5 at like this weird ass like shoe place. And he's just like, you being smart with me? And I just like pulled out like a knife that I always got on. Which is like my punishing knife. I'm pretty sure it has a photo. I have a photo somewhere on Instagram about it, but I whipped it out and I was just like, listen man, I don't want trouble. And then he just kind of like looked at me, looked at the knife, and was just like, you're not worth it, and just wandered off. But like I looked back, once I got back to my apartment, I'm like, what the hell just happened? Like I could have died that night. For all I know, that dude would have been hopped up on something and just pounced on me. I didn't even think twice. I was just like, fuck it, why not? I'll just pop this knife out. Like, I don't even know what the hell was going on in my brain to think that that was an actual option that I could take. But I took it, and apparently it worked, so fuck it. And I never talked to anybody about it, really. I talked to my dad, like, fucking a few months ago about it. I talked to my brothers about it, I think. I never talked to anybody other than those people about that, because it was just like one of those things where I'm like, I guess this is a story that I got in my repertoire now. I got a hell of a lot of stories. Like, I had stories about like fucking getting like almost thrown off a building, that kind of deal. Like, I just got a fuckload of those weird ass stories. They could just pop up in random ass places and just, yeah. So anyway, that's about it. That's all I got. So, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the videos, do something, I guess. I don't fucking know. It's been so long since I made a video, so I have no clue what the hell to say. Fuck it.
What the fuck? That's some weird fucking Lovecraftian creature.